Happy New Year and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is something a little bit different. What I decided to do to kickstart my training for the new year and just mix things up, try something different, is grab a 7-day free trial to F45. If you haven't heard of F45, it's functional 45-minute workouts. It is all class-based. You go in at the scheduled class times and they run you through a series of exercises. Now, I've never tried F45 before. I've heard it's quite similar to CrossFit, if that helps. But I'm really keen to give it a go and see what it's like. For a little bit of fun, I decided to take a before shot. It also happens to be my 2019 before shot. I'll be using the photo to see if I make any progress or changes throughout this week, as well as my baseline for progress throughout the year. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. Happy Monday. First session at F45 is complete. It was a cardio session, which was super intense, as you can see by the color of my face, but really good training, pretty happy. I'm really excited for tomorrow. I'm so alone, trying to find my way back home to you. Is day 2 done. Today was more weights, but there was a lot of arms and I don't train arms as often as I should, so I struggled way more than I thought I would on that one. I thought I'd jump on and give you a quick update as to how the week is going. Yesterday was my first session at F45. I was pretty nervous because I didn't really know what to expect, but Monday session was a cardio session and they call it the Templars. 45 minutes of straight cardio was definitely something a little bit different for me, but overall it was a good session. I was recording the workout on my Apple Watch, so I started recording when we started doing the warm-up. Total time was 37 minutes and 51 seconds, so that didn't include the overview when they like demonstrate the exercises, which I found very helpful. The active calories was 308 and total burnt calories in that time was 354. Average heart rate for the session was 166 beats per minute. Minimum was 104 and the max was 183. For my first session, pretty thrilled. Day 2 was more of a weights-based session. So they call it MCATs and it's a drop set session. So it's high intensity interval training, but it's all weight based. And the idea is you increase your weights throughout the session. Each exercise you do for 3 sets before moving on to the next exercise, and then you complete the entire circuit twice. So I tried to go a little bit heavier, particularly for the second circuit. active calories was 274 and total calories was 321. So a little bit less than yesterday, but that's to be expected because yesterday was cardio. My average heart rate for the workout today was 149 beats per minute. So again, a little bit lower than yesterday. The max was 176. So not too far off my max from yesterday's cardio session, which was quite interesting. I guess the worst part about it for me was that it did have quite a lot of arm movements and quite a lot of lifts that used all of your muscle groups. So for example, the lunges where we're holding those plank things, you can see me doing a terrible job of it. I tried to go too heavy because I can lift that heavy with my legs, but I just couldn't hold them with my arms. We also did chin-ups. By we did, I mean they did and I attempted. So that's also something that I definitely need to work on.
Little bitch, you can fuck with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is dirty shoes. Hit the school, I can get them both, I don't wanna choose. And I'm quick, cut a nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money move. Say I don't gotta dance, I make money move. If I see you now speak, that means I don't fuck with you. I'm a boss, you a worker, bitch, I make bloody move. Now she say, don't do what a hoop, let's find out, see, Cardi B. You know where I'm at, you know where I be, you in the club.
Second cardio session of the week is done. It was pretty brutal. I was a little bit sore in my shoulders particularly and in my quads from yesterday's session, as those are muscle groups that I definitely don't train enough. But yeah, great session. Need a shower.
I'm so alone, trying to find my way back home to you.
Day 4 weights done. Definitely felt the burn. Finish the week strong with some cardio. I don't know if it was fatigue, but today's session was brutal.
Wednesday's session was another cardio session. This one was the bears session and it's kind of follow the leader. So you just go around the room one time, but you do each exercise twice. It was more resistance-based cardio, so I did like it a little bit more. You can see a lot of it is weighted as well as body weight stuff. I was super sore, my shoulders in particular, were burning throughout the session, but overall it was good as well. I ended up burning 300 active calories and 345 total calories during the session, and my heart rate range was 111 to 188, which is pretty high. Definitely, I think my best workout for the week in terms of heart rate and fat burning, and the average was 162. Thursday was another weights day, and this was probably my favorite class throughout the week. It definitely wasn't my best class in terms of calories burned or workout, but it was my favorite in terms of I enjoyed it the most. It's a resistance class and you do 4 trisets, so 2 lower body and 2 upper body. You do 3 rounds at each tricep before moving on to the next one. Now for this one, active calories was only 257 with total hitting 304 and an average heart rate of 142, but the range during the workout was between 102 and 171. Even though the average isn't necessarily as high as I'd like it to be, I am still hitting a good beats per minute at some points during it. Friday session was the last session I did for the week, and this was another cardio session, and this one was definitely the hardest for me. I think it might have been a little bit of fatigue as I had done 5 sessions in a row and they were quite high intensity, but it's called Abacus and it's actually a new session to the F45 program. You basically have the 6 exercises, you do 5 sets at each exercise, and then you do 2 rounds, but the timing goes up during the first set and then down during the second set with only 10 seconds rest in between. So it's quite high paced. There's not a lot of rest, and a lot of the movements are plyometric, so there's a lot of like jumping and that kind of stuff in it. So it was definitely challenging. I only burnt 275 active calories, so I was expecting that number to be a lot higher, as I definitely struggled, and a total calories of 321. Average heart rate was 153 and the range was 101 to 174. So compared to the other cardio workouts, I didn't do that well in it, which actually surprised me as I did find it the hardest. Overall, I did really enjoy F45. I think my favorite things about it was, number one, it forced you to work your butt off. There was absolutely no slacking, and I think that's part of the class environment. The one I went to had a really great culture. Everyone there was absolutely lovely, including both the staff and the other workout people. I also liked that all of the days were full body workouts. So I do a little bit more of a split, but every day at F45 you're training all of your muscle groups, which is really great, particularly if you can't get into the gym every day. Training full body 3 times a week is better than training, legs once, arms once, cardio once, because you are training all of your muscles a little bit more consistently. The range of exercises and the range of different classes was also really good. So every day was totally different, and every week you would be doing different stuff as well. Really good workouts all of the time, and you didn't get bored of it. What I didn't necessarily love about F45 was that it was very heavily cardio based, a lot more cardio based than I was expecting, even on the resistance or the weights days. There wasn't a lot of lifting heavy or hypertrophy, so I think I personally wouldn't be able to commit to F45 by itself. I would need to do F45 in conjunction with another gym membership where I could go in and do a little bit of lifting, particularly for glutes, which is something that I do train. You also can only go in for the scheduled classes. So this is both good and bad. It's good because it forces you to go in. There's no, I'll go in half an hour and then you don't end up going. But it does mean that if you can't make the class, you just can't go. There were about 6 classes every day throughout the week, bar Fridays, which there were a couple of less at the one I went to, so 2 or 3 in the morning, 1 at lunch, and then another 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So you do have a lot of options. The last thing that I wasn't a huge fan of, which I guess is just something you deal with, is that all of the F45s are franchises, and in Australia at least, you can't necessarily go to any F45. So I live in Cronulla, which is quite a significant distance away from my work, which head office is in Chatswood if you're from Sydney. So if I were to join Chatswood, I would be able to go to the Chatswood one and maybe 1 or 2 others if the owner is the same, but I can't go to the one in Cronulla and vice versa. So you've really got to commit to the venue that you're going to be at the most, and it doesn't have a lot of flexibility like a lot of other gyms do. I would definitely recommend F45. The classes are quite high impact, so if you have any kind of joint issues like knees or anything like that, I would recommend getting your doctor to check it out first. I found it really fun. It was really different, and it was a great way to mix up my training. As I mentioned, I would do it in conjunction with a gym membership if it wasn't $65 a week, which for me personally is just a lot of money to spend on something that isn't as flexible. If you are just starting out, I would also recommend maybe getting a PT session or having a chat to some of the trainers at F45 just to make sure that your technique is right. You do cycle through the exercises quite quickly. The demonstrations at the start are fantastic. Make sure you ask follow-up questions and get someone to check your technique as you go. Don't just kind of guess through it, as that's how you will injure yourself. I also did a little bit of a before and after, so disclaimer, I was not expecting to see any dramatic results or changes in my body composition after 1 week. I thought it would be a little bit of fun. So I'll pop the 2 pictures here and here so you can kind of compare the 2. I do think that actually in the after shot, my abs are slightly more defined, and I think that's just due to the large volume of cardio that my body is not used to. I do think if I kept doing it, I would see a lot more definition and I would be a little bit leaner, but I also think I might lose a little bit of muscle mass from not being able to lift as heavy. Let me know if you're a member of F45 or if you've tried F45 and what you guys thought of the classes. I know there's a whole bunch that I didn't actually get to try out, but I was on the 7-day trial, so it was just kind of what was available on the day. If you have a favorite class that I didn't get to go to, let me know below. I'm considering in future just buying like the 1 class pass to complement my regular gym routine and kick my butt back into action. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It does really support my channel and lets me know what kind of content you guys like. Leave me a comment as I would love to chat to you, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
I'm so alone.